Hello there, Kellan Olson, Arizona Sports Suns reporter here. It sounded like I was saying hi to myself, but I'm not. I'm saying hi to you, the viewer. We're here from a 125-105 Suns win over the 76ers. The question coming in was who was going to play for Philly. We saw no James Harden, and we saw Joel Embiid. That seems to be the guy you'd want to be out there, right? The MVP candidate out there, the guy who might end up winning MVP, but I think we saw the effects really here for Philadelphia's offense. They're a below average to bad offensive team when James Harden is not on the court, the leader in assists this year, of course, and it just seemed like Phoenix really needed to find its rhythm defensively. And then once that came over the skid, they were going to be able to do enough offensively to get there. We saw signs of this against the Lakers and the Kings, particularly in the first half. We saw a lot of it. But once the second half came, that's when the wheels started to fall off in some kind of way. But the Suns crucially avoided that kind of stretch. They were up 6 through 3 quarters, and then 3 minutes later, they were up 15. Another 3 minutes later, they were up 20. So they avoided the dramatics of the game by putting away the game, and that was sort of 3 steps forward because we were just really looking for them to not necessarily collapse, but win a crucial stretch of the game to win the game. That's how you win basketball games, after all. They did a lot of it through Devin Booker. He had 29 points tonight. One of his worst games of March. He was 9 of 18 from the court. That actually brought his shooting percentage down to 57%, this month. Joel Embiid was limited to 28 points. He did not shoot the ball efficiently to his standards. Bismack Biyombo was outstanding in this game. Embiid is not even a player that you can really look at and say, let's try and contain him as much as possible. You can't really do that against a force like him. But what Biyombo did was play physical, play fast, and try and limit him where he could on the floor, and forced him to take as many jumpers as Embiid was willing to take on the second game of a back-to-back. And then on the other end of the floor, Biyombo was just relentless with his activity level. He scored 17 points, I believe, with his 13 rebounds and 5 blocks. Maybe his best performance of the season, quite honestly. But there still needed to be some offense to come from somewhere. But as we've seen time after time with this team, once the defense gets going, the offense will get set up. And it's just not one of those things where they need to rely too heavily on Kevin Durant or DeAndre, nor the both of them, for the offense just to not tank when they're out there. And we saw that from the bench again tonight. Really good games again for Terrence Ross and TJ Warren. Warren in particular is a guy who's really found his comfort level, starting to look like himself a bit more. Monty Williams wisely about 2 weeks ago started to give Warren more playing time to, in his words, give him a real shot, a real chance, a real grab at a potential rotation spot instead of just like these 5-minute increments here and there. And it's paid off because he looks great, and he looks like someone who could be playing in the playoffs. Campaign had a good game off the bench as well, and that was really all they needed. Tyrese Maxey was quite honestly the only reason this game was close at all. He had 37 with 7 threes for Philly, and he was the only guy that really had it going for them at all. I think they only had 3 players to score in double digits at all. Last nugget of this game, the Suns had 35 assists. The Sixers had 34 baskets. Just the discrepancy in the playmaking and just the ball movement was really apparent in this one. And again, no Kevin Durant, no DeAndre, no problem. The system usually wins out here in Phoenix as long as they play their brand of basketball. They certainly did tonight to end the skid. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Hey, Jeremy, did you hear who could be back on Wednesday? We'll see you then.